minutes.
Yeah.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Welcome to NerdTube. And it's time to talk about the Tulsa King, baby, season 2, episode 9, Triad. Now, me and Ginger were wondering if they were supposed to be called the Triads or not, but I guess with this subtitle, I guess they were the Triads. Ginger, the Tulsa Ginge, how you doing, mate? You all right?
All good, baby. All good. Ready to talk about this episode.
So we started off with the funeral of Jimmy. It looked more like a biker funeral than a Native American funeral, but
Yeah.
regardless, we there was a moment between like this high chief guy and Dwight Manfredi where um, I think he called him the White. He called Dwight the White or something
Yeah.
like
D
that.
White. D
Yeah, and his
White.
surname is
The
Man, and his surname is Manfredi, so maybe D White Man. You know what I
yeah,
mean,
the
or
white
something
man
like that.
Freddy. Yeah.
Yeah,
The white
exactly.
man Freddy.
Something that Tyson was giggling to the whole bloody time because he just found it so humorous and stuff like that. No real callback on that from that particular moment, but there was a lot of loose ends for these guys to tie up. And during the course of this episode, Fresher now he's obviously worried for his life, and Bill wants and his goons they want to sort out the problem with Manfredi, and they don't want to keep disputing with anymore. But they still feel that somebody owes them some payback, which is why they want to kill Fresher now. But until this situation is resolved, Fresh they can't kill him. So it'll be interesting to see if they do kill him. Because they do want him dead. So I guess we'll find out next week. And also in this episode too, we got Chicky having to make his plans to go down to Tulsa, but because of what happened to him a few episodes ago, when he tried to get on the plane with a gun, he's on the no-fly list. Welcome to the
Yep.
club, motherfucker. No, I'm actually on the fly list. I'm totally fine, but you know what I mean. I'm brown and I
Yeah.
got a beard, and you know what I mean. So, but yeah, so he took a train. And it's good in a way because we are going to get another episode, which is fantastic. I do feel that this final episode is going to be like a glorious epilogue, to a
Yeah.
degree.
I really, really didn't like this episode. I thought this was the weakest one, and it was disappointing because the payoff that we got was just really bad. Like I wanted like a big kind of three-way battle or four-way battle, and in the end we just had this kind of weak oh, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing, and it was just over in like seconds, and they killed off my favorite villain as well. It was called Ming, by the way. I mean, Jesus Christ, you want to
Jackie
take?
Ming, his surname is Ming, but his first name is Jackie.
Yeah. But it wasn't very mercy. It wasn't merciless. It was just Ming the useless in the end. And yeah, I was very frustrated. The Armand's. I didn't expect to see Armand in this episode, and I again another payoff that I didn't like at all. It was a cop out. I
You
saw
think
it
Dwight let
coming a
him off?
million. Well, the minute they cut away when Bigfoot said, "Oh, you have a visitor," I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's Armand, and he's gonna set things up." And like you saw it coming, and this is like the worst episode in the series for me. I didn't like it, and it just leaves episode 10 just feeling pointless. Like I don't care that chick is gonna go there. There might something might happen. Something might happen with Fresher. Is nothing now going to happen with Bevilacqua? The natives came and went and all this kind of shit. There should have just been a bigger setup for a bigger showdown
I
in
wanted a
this. So
scalp. I really wanted a scalp. We never
yeah,
got a
exactly.
scalpel.
Think of that.
Give
Like
us a
that action
scalp.
scene was cool. That action scene was cool, but it was over too quickly, and it was just that should have been like half of the episode, the final episode, and so you know, I could sit here and talk about all the little things in this episode, but overall, I just walked away very
This
disappointed.
was a ridiculously short episode of 35 minutes, and you take
Yeah,
away the
it wasn't
credits
even
as
that
well. It's probably about
after the credits.
33.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus Christ, like this is a 30-minute episode, pretty much. It's ridiculous. It was ridiculously short, which is why the weaving in between the characters is not there. Like now, Margaret,
yeah,
she being Dwight's girl, um, she's the one who kind of gets the information from Tresha that Jackie Ming was the person that killed or who tried to attempt to kill um, Mark and Tyson. And so once she finds that out, she then tells Dwight. But Dwight's skeptical. Like, why would he want to believe? Why should he have to believe this? But he does have a sit down with Fresher and Bill, and they tell him again. And it's weird in a way. Like he wants to believe him, but he doesn't want to believe him. But he has to think about it. That's why he's called a general, because he's a smart guy and all of that. So it was just all set up for that. We got a moment with Vincent as well, basically telling Chicky to go down to Tulsa, which he does do, because Dwight's a good earner, and as long as Tulsa is his, it's not theirs. Now, regarding Chicky, I want to bring that up a little bit before we talk about any more of this episode. I think he's going to either take over from Fresher and maybe kill him, or he's going to take it from Bill and kill him and run his crew down there. And he'll be like the new leader of a crew down there, the new guy to take over from Kansas. I don't know what you think of that.
I don't think he's gonna go to that point. I think he's gonna just probably team up with Dwight to take down New York, if anything now, because he has no loyalty to New York, and so Dwight might end up using him to kind of help take down New
Yeah, but
York.
can you trust a man who killed his own father?
No, no, but that's what I mean. Dwight's just going to use him, maybe set him up to take a fall or something. But yeah, again, like with Chicky going there, he has no crew, he has no nothing, doesn't have anything to offer. I mean, it could do like again. There is logic to your theory because he's a hothead, he's stupid, he doesn't think, and he might just do
He is
something like
stupid.
crazy. He might go to Kansas and take out Bevilacqua and
Well,
try to take his crew and all this kind of stuff.
I'm glad you mentioned that he's stupid because we saw how stupid he was when he was talking to Expedia or whoever the fuck he was talking to when he was trying to book
Yeah.
his flight, and he's like, I don't know about you, but even when I'm trying to resolve an issue, I wouldn't be necessarily effing and jeffing. You know what I mean?
No.
To that, not in the position that he was in right now. He's not like the guy lost some money or whatever like that. He was just trying to book a flight. He would be effing and jeffing. He eventually tells the woman on the phone to go fuck herself, which was absolutely hilarious. But it's just typical Chicky.
That's it.
Yeah, and so now we see him taking the train down there. And what also is going to be interesting as well is that Goody and Chicky have a history, of course. Will he try to manipulate Goody? I don't think he will be able to. I think Goody can see the bigger picture. Why the hell would he? That Chicky's a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
Got it good in Tulsa, you know what I mean, as well. He's got it very good. So
the balance is just again, right because
they killed. Don't forget, they killed his friend, so he's not going to go back to Chicky.
Yeah, I mean the balance is just right as well because, I remember last week's episode, Tyson the week before, Dwight told Tyson if this was the real mafia, we'd have to do something about it. But they're not like they're the mafia, but they're not. They got a different sort of code of ethics because they're dealing, like everyone in Dwight's organization is a mixture of all different, people from different backgrounds. So he's taking things a little bit differently, his approach, which is why he's called the general. You know what I mean? And I guess that's more suitable for somebody like maybe for like Goody. He doesn't have to look over his shoulder all the time within his organization. As long as he's sweet, they're sweet, and all of that sort of shit. He can fuck up like Tyson did, and not have to worry about being killed by and all of that. So yeah. So
there's that. Another issue, though, just back to the issues quickly as well, is with the natives. They wanted revenge on Bevilacqua, and they put that aside to take out The Triads, the other twist should have been that they went after Bevilacqua and just like, okay, let's say he manages to escape,
That's a good
but
point.
yeah, that there just would have left like another thing to say. Okay, I can't reason with Dwight because he set the natives on me. That kind of illogical, logical kind of thinking
That
because
is
they
a
killed
really
his.
good point.
Yeah, and
That's a
that
really good point.
really
Yeah.
pissed me off because Bevilacqua was and Thresher were just there. They didn't really do anything. It was the natives that kind of took the reins. Really, I mean, we never saw the others shoot a gun or anything like that. And the other twist could be they know that the Triad's body is buried in the barn, and they could use that against Dwight, call the authorities on him or anything like that. But it just felt like it was just weak. It was just the whole thing was just weak, and it was just like they
Oh,
rushed
I'm
it.
not sure. I'm not sure if they know the bodies in the barn because they came from a different angle,
Yeah,
and when they
probably.
went
I mean,
back
they
to the
were
barn,
gone. They were gone by that time. I think were
but
they?
there's lots of blood and bullets all over that
Yeah,
fucking ranch. If the police wanted
yeah,
to do an investigation, they could find something.
yeah. They easily could
But
find something
but
if they
I do
investigate.
believe that you still make a good point. Don't get me wrong. That body being in the stable, and they took the
Mm.
horse out of its stable so they could bury the body in the horse's stable. Um, I do think that might play a part in season 3. The body, the buried body, and stuff like that. I mean, they could have
Yeah.
fucking dug it somewhere in the sand, in the sticks somewhere, but no, they buried it right in their location. For fuck's sake! And it's not like the body's going to decompose anytime soon. You know what I
No,
mean?
and
So
you don't do that. That's something you never do. That is just. It's not just a rookie mistake. It's an illogical, badly written mistake from the writers because nobody ever buried the bodies in their own backyard. You always take them out into the middle of the field. The natives could get away with it because with the natives, they have their own burial sites and things like that, so they could just pluck a load of bodies there and get away with it. But to put that on your own ranch, that's just stupid. you know yeah, it looks cool and all of that, but when you when you've had a whole series 2 that's been just brilliantly setting everything up, and then you do something like that again, it just felt like such a different episode compared to everything else.
so I'm going to
And
go a bit of foreshadowing. Sorry, you
yeah,
want to say some more?
that's no, that's it.
Okay.
I think that covered everything I want to talk about.
Bit of foreshadowing on about Tyson for a start. Now, him and his mum is made up simply through their dad because his dad, obviously, somebody who almost died, doesn't want his family to be any more broken than they already are. So he got his son and his wife to make up. But Tyson's other dad, aka Dwight, he initially was but he does look at Tyson like a surrogate son, and he never wanted Tyson to ever kill anybody. But the foreshadowing was there, and even though Tyson was put into a position by Dwight to end up because once they dealt with the ambush of Jackie Ming, they Tyson was the one who killed him.
Yeah,
Like he stuck a fucking axe in his head. An axe in it,
yeah.
like I mean, that's a very when you shoot somebody with a gun, it's not as personal as taking an object and penetrating in somebody's skull or skin or whatever with it. That's about as personal as it gets. And he put that axe right into that fucker's head. I was thinking to myself, like make sure you get it right, man. You don't want to end up chopping off fucking Mitch's hand by accident as he's holding him, but and all of that. But that was it. So Tyson now he's finally he's killed somebody, and it
Yep.
was really interesting that whole moment when they did that because it looked like Dwight was going to do it, but then he said Tyson, you should do it, and Tyson was kind of taken back by it. But but the persuasion given to Tyson to do that, it didn't take much persuasion. Like he didn't have to like rope him in, or whatever. Tyson was like, okay, you're right, boss. This guy tried to kill me and my dad. He's going down. And I think this is a significant turning point for Tyson now from wannabe gangster to gangster. I think this is
Yeah.
it. Like you have to do that kill. And now I think
He's
he's
crossed
full
that
blown
line
gangster
now.
now.
He's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's crossed that
Yeah,
line
I
over
mean,
that threshold. and he's fully committed now.
Yeah,
Before you could
exactly.
see kind of maybe possibly walking away kind of thing, but now he's crossed that line. And I think because of what happened to his dad, that just put him over the edge, and that's why he just didn't hesitate.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
earlier on, obviously we saw that moment with Armand, and when we got to the flashback scene of Armand meeting Dwight, it was a bit weird how all of that played out, because Armand, he knew he couldn't run away forever. He stole this money, but he can't relax with that money. Like Dwight was going to always catch up with him. He knew that. There's no way he could hide. So he decided to turn the money in and basically give up his life because he didn't. Nothing was worth living anymore. And there was a
yeah, he's
moment
lost
where
his family.
Dwight was just about to kill him until his sister stopped him from doing so. And then next thing you know, Dwight then tells him, "Well, listen, Armand, as long as you haven't killed anybody, you can always make up for things." I'm thinking, hold on, mate. Just 10 seconds ago, you were about to blow his fucking brains out, and then you see,
That's a great point, because again, it just falls into like just how bad this episode was, because it just went, well, you haven't killed anyone. Obviously he meant you haven't killed anyone on my side, so there's always redemption kind of thing. But I will say this: what a performance by that actor when he did his
oh, from
monologue.
Doogie Howser.
Uh,
He was in Doogie Howser. Let me remind myself who he was.
was he?
He's
Oh
been in the
God!
Max Casella. He was Doogie Howser's mate.
Oh,
In
hell, that's him. Bloody hell!
Yeah, that's him. And he's been in so many things. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, he's pretty much his whole career has pretty much been in gangster films and TV shows. Like he played Benny in Sopranos. He was also in a Boardwalk Empire as well. Yeah, he's had a
I
career of
remember. Yeah, I
playing.
remember him from Boardwalk Empire. I never watched The Sopranos.
Yeah, he wanted like maybe like a third tier character but yeah,
yeah.
he had his moments. He had a couple of episodes based around him. I think his most significant thing in Sopranos was him and the chef in Sopranos, whose name escapes me. They were kind of feuding a little bit, but other than that, he was like basically under the wing of the character of Christopher. But yeah, he was in Doogie Howser way back in the day, back in the
Oh,
in the 90s.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean.
wow. Bloody hell. But no, that performance, that monologue was fantastic. I thought that was a great delivery. But I'd still rather he disappeared and then kind of comes back like a wrench in the spanner in the works. It just messes everything up, kind of thing. But it is what it is.
Well,
But yeah.
after him and after he but he shows up again after they done the job on the triads, and Goody's obviously trying to kill him, but then obviously Dwight tells him the story, and then he goes, okay, we're square now. So hopefully for Armand's sake, he doesn't have to bloody owe Dwight any more money, because that will be, because I don't think there's any way he can, so.
Yeah, there's nothing
And
for him to do to get
will
that
he get
money.
will he get his job back? I'm not so sure. He might be
Yeah.
asking a bit too much because he was drinking on the job. And I think we had a brief moment with Sylvester Stallone's Oscar-winning daughter saying how she doesn't really want to be in charge. So maybe that is a way of basically saying, okay, Dwight, yeah, you can get your job back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
So
foreshadowing of Armand getting his job back. But her performance moved me to tears. I don't know about you. I was just bawling my eyes out. I was like, oh, what a delivery. She doesn't want to do this. No, how is she doubting herself? Anyway, but yeah.
So we're on to the final episode now. Like, we got rid of the Triad, were finally dealt with. Fresh is probably relieved as fuck, you know what I mean? But now the loose ends are Fresher, Bill, and the oncoming Chicky. Maybe the Indians, the Native Americans, will still want payback on Bill, even though it was a misunderstanding. Who knows? But
Yeah, there needs to be. This can't be like. I know what you were saying about being an epilogue. I hope it isn't. I hope that. I mean, if there is, I hope there's just a lot of setup, more setup for other things to come, because everything was tied up too nicely in this episode. So there needs to be some crazy shit that goes down, and I'll take whatever they offer because I'm really not satisfied at the moment. So yeah,
Well,
for next week.
regarding Vincent, because you remember last week, when 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 Dwight was telling Chicky, look, my daughter's coming to America, so coming to New York, so don't do shit, with her or my grandchildren. He goes, all right, fine, I won't do it. And he wanted Vincent to know that as well. But if Vincent doesn't know that, and then all of a sudden things don't necessarily change in Tulsa, and he might do something about it, he might take he
That's
might
the
take
point.
their
I forgot
family
about the
hostage.
daughter. Yeah,
You
I
know,
forgot about the daughter. Yeah, there is that.
so there's
Yeah,
there's
you'll be
that
like, hey,
possibility. But
listen, you better
yeah.
play ball or blah 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 your daughter, which could set up season 3 being the war with New York. So I forgot about that.
There's
So
that possibility, yeah, and his daughter being there could be a massive issue. I just want to also mention that he when he bought into those wind farms and stuff like that, like early in the episode, some things I never really felt were fully concluded because when it came to that wind, the guy was doing a scam. Remember in the early episodes, he was speaking to that guy who was scamming when it came to wind farms, and he paid him
oh yeah, the
like
lawyer guy.
was he a lawyer or some sort of inventor? But he paid him 6 million or something like that. And he tried to get a loan, but that never really fulfilled. And I was thinking to myself, okay, well, these, this doesn't,
Damn right,
none of
Cheeto.
this feels like it's, yep, yes, you're right, Cheeto. Um, None of this feels resolved. Like,
Yeah,
but he's already making a shitload of money because you look at that safe. My God, it was like loaded with cash. And Aman, when he stole that money from Dwight, he only took what was on the table, and then that was 500,000 on the table alone. So
yeah.
maybe Dwight does finally have the money, but we never saw anything from that. I just felt like there was some unresolved issues there. But it's hard to say.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe, yeah. Because didn't he try to do a deal with the investor guy?
He did. He
Uh,
did. He offered him
he did
millions,
the deal,
for
right?
his technology. Yeah, the investor
Yeah,
guy's in jail, and he offered him basically
yeah.
like
We never
like
seen him
the
again. That's a great point. Let's see if anything
all
happens
of
in
it.
episode 10, or if they
Also, by
just
the
forget.
way, with the Triads gone, Fresh is now the one in charge of all that heroin and those poppy seeds being grown on his fields. Like I said,
Yeah.
if Chicky comes down and sees an opportunity, he might take over. Maybe Bill will
Or he
send him
could
his
team up
way.
with Fletcher.
Possibility as well. But Chicky's just one man. Yeah, and like I say, he is a glorified fuck up. So he has to really figure out a way of Dwight came on his own to Tulsa and started an empire within weeks. Got
Yeah.
surrounded himself with all different types of people, various with various credibilities and abilities. So he's got the right people around him. What the fuck is Chicky going to do? You know what I mean? Like Chicky's not suave, sophisticated, so
No,
it makes me wonder:
that's
will
what
he
I mean.
force his
Like,
way?
this is why they need to use his stupidity to kind of make him interesting, because him just going down there, it doesn't mean anything. We how many times are we going to have sit down negotiations that just end up being like flat out disappointing? We're going to do it again with Chicky. We need Chicky to go in there and just be like, gun, bang, shoot somebody, takes over. That's like really bloody stupid. And Vincent in New York. Yeah, I'd like the daughter to play a part to say, hey, play ball or we'll fuck up your daughter, kind of thing. I
Regarding
think that needs
regarding
to
Fresher
happen.
though, Refresher is a decorated billionaire. Like you can't just shoot him and kill him and then take over his business. It's not that
No,
straightforward.
exactly.
This ain't
Yeah,
Scarface. You know what I mean?
no.
So yeah, he'll
But
probably but
there is,
but they signed off.
again, there's been a severe lack of logic when dealing with Thresher anyway, because he's a billionaire and he couldn't just, he could fucking buy a private army if he wanted to. You
Yeah,
know
all
what I
these
mean? So
mercenaries, and
just
they would listen to
relegating
him.
him to a bitch really didn't sit right in the first place.
Yeah,
So they
I
need to
agree.
resolve
And
that.
also, he signed off his entire fucking farm to the
Exactly.
Triad for 1,000, and he had to pay them $1,000 on top, which
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Yeah.
What I mean?
They got
Add insult to injury. You know,
I'll be
so
interested to see
and
what happens there.
it'll be interesting to see if Bill decides to go through and whack him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. I
there's a
mean,
lot
that's
to
how
it.
Bill could take Tulsa by taking over Thresh's business. So there's
Yeah,
that prospect. And then he could just be like, yeah, anyway, Dwight, that deal we had, fuck you, kind of thing. But we'll wait and see. I think we should wrap it up.
yeah, we should. So what are you gonna give it?
I'm only going to give this a 3 out of 10. It was just, it was just weak all round. A couple of little bits. Armand's performance
3 out of 10.
was great. And Tyson stepping over the line and scalping the dudes was great. But that's really it for me.
It's such a weird episode because this episode felt like a season finale. It really did. Like how everything panned out. With Chicky going to Tulsa and all of that, and the Triad, who are arguably the main threat this season, being taken care of. It wrapped up,
Yeah.
in a bow, but there's still one more episode to go. My biggest gripe with this episode is that it's too fucking short. Like 35 minutes. Like, come on. Like when I see shit like this, I cringe. I just finished watching Only Murders in the Building. So many of those episodes are like for 35 minutes long. It was like ridiculous. So that's my
Yeah.
major issue. But we have been going on about plot holes as well during the course of this episode, as well as this series. But I still liked it. I haven't soured on this show or this episode just
Oh,
yet.
I haven't
I
shown
give it a
so
7.
on the show. Just this episode. That's all.
But even this episode, I get where you're coming from, but I still didn't mind it too much. Like I said, I just thought the episode was too short. 7 out of 10 for me. Yeah. All right. Let me know out there in YouTube land and various other social media sites where you're finding this review. What do you think of this episode? Are you looking forward to the finale next week? If you want to join us regarding that finale, leave a comment below and let us know. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest social media channel never heard of. Take care now. Thank you, Ginge. Thank you, everyone else. Bye bye.
Thank you.